What is good, YouTube? In today's video, I got y'all the top 5 best loadouts to be using here in Battlefield 6 Season 1. The Season 1 update has brought in some really nice changes to how the core game functions, so I got y'all taken care of. If you enjoyed the video, let's break 200 likes, subscribe, notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, so first gun I'll be showing you guys today is going to be the SOR. This is basically one of the most consistent ARs in the entire game for multiplayer and for RedSec. You can see at a lot of these ranges here, the recoil is very, very minimal. And one of the things they made sure to do was to really help you out with the bloom in this game, as they called it dispersion, was actually quite awful. So this right here, that's looking a lot better. Now, of course, let's get it here and show you guys how to build this thing out properly. First thing on here is going to be the standard suppressor. I want to show you guys, this is a level 19 build here. It says right below my face cam, but you don't have to have this very high level for it to be really good. So the standard suppressor should work out very nicely. If you don't happen to have that, then the double port break will be great for you because it'll help you out with your hipfire accuracy, your control, all this sort of fun jazz. You can see that right below my face cam. It is really solid, and you can also see your bullet velocity is wicked good at 1,000 meters a second. That's like one of the fastest for any AR. So highly recommend you guys go ahead and do that. After that, in the barrel section, you want to run the 18 US-LB extended barrel. What this does is this basically increases your overall projectile velocity and enables a faster transition to aim down sight speed, which is like awesome, right? So it's kind of like a nice little 2-for-1. And if you run, let's say, the basic barrel here, your bullet velocity goes down to 800, which is still technically better than like even the cord, for instance. But when you bump this up with the extended, that gets you out to 1,000, which is like super awesome. So highly recommend you guys go ahead and run that. Now in the underbarrel section, there are a few different things in here you can technically run. And if you want to switch up, let's say your magazine, you might have some points available for them. But overall, I suggest running the alloy vertical because it slightly reduces your recoil and it does nothing else. So it's not like let's say it's the ribbed vertical where you actually moderately reduce recoil at the cost of aim down sights accuracy while moving. Before the update, that was like really bad, and it's still, bad enough, right? But overall, this gun doesn't have much recoil. So it's like, why use extra points on something you don't need to? Whereas maybe some people want to go down here for like a ribbed stubby or something else like that, as it does almost the same thing as the alloy vertical, but it gives you a bit more mobility. Overall, I think for the sake of points and cost effectiveness, the alloy is going to be great for everybody out there. Down here in the magazine section, I'm running the 40 round mag. That's why I was saying that maybe at the cost of some points, you can maybe run something a bit different. Like you could run the 36 round mag and then maybe go get that ribbed vertical grip, or whatever it was called, ribbed stubby. So you could definitely do that. But I think the 40 round mag is just very nice to have, especially if you're playing, well, it doesn't matter if you're playing like RedSec or if you're playing just straight up multiplayer, which this video is designed for regular multiplayer. It's just great either way. So it's a nice little setup you can take into either mode and be perfectly okay. After that, for a last attachment, we're gonna go in here and run an optic. For regular multiplayer, it's just probably like 1.7x. You can even run something literally like a mini flex. Also, something I've done is I've gone down here and I have technically ran the Baker 3 times in multiplayer. But I will say that largely speaking, based on the type of player I am and the engagements I'm getting into, I don't really feel like I need a lot past the 2 times. But of course, in RedSec, I'm running the Baker 3 times, as that is like the kind of like the gold standard for an optic on like your primary long range gun that's fully automatic. So I like that. I've also really enjoyed running the OSA. Yeah, like I said, the mini flex. And one of my favorites right now is the RO-M. This is absolutely incredible. Highly recommend that. But this right here is my full SOR build. That's actually kind of crazy. Okay, well, we have the MP7. So this thing's actually a really good SMG. You can see the overall hip fire is absolutely absurd. It feels really good. And the one nice thing about this gun is that it's got some of the best damage range out of any SMG. So if you want something that's absolutely going to fry and have virtually no recoil, you're going to be wanting to use this. All right, to hop in here for our first attachment, also let you guys know the weapon level is 15 on this, so don't think you got to have this thing fully leveled up. I'm not like an absolute maniac in grinding this game out 24/7, so I have a lot of stuff leveled up, but it's not like it's maxed out like level 30, 50, so on and so forth. So right here, double port break. I like this. It makes it basically have 0 recoil, so I like that. I will probably try out a suppressor when I happen to get that unlocked. I think any of the suppressors down here I'll be giving a try. Most likely maybe the CQB or the standard. or, you know, maybe even the long suppressor. I really feel like doing that. But overall, I think the break is a great option for a lower level build, which I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are going to have. You can see this only taking up 75 points. And I basically have almost everything on the gun. After that, in the barrel section, these only take up 10 points, which is really nice. The heavy barrel, the 180mm prototype, improves your firing accuracy over extended periods, which extends out basically that general range you have. So I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I'd recommend for you guys to go ahead and run that. Left accessory, this is something you can definitely do. I haven't had it on there, but the light, since I'll put it on there since I have extra points, but the light is very, very good because it helps increase your hip fire. You can see that right there from 62 all the way to 68. So the hip fire you saw in the firing range was without a light, but with a light, this will be even better. It's just one of those things where I'm not really sure if I like having the light on there versus not. I'm kind of keep going back and forth with it, but overall, this is still a really nice attachment, and it does blind people at close range. It's really more for like annoyance, you know, towards the enemy than it is to be like actually able to see things in darker spaces. Now we're going to go on down here to the underbarrel section. This is something where I'm still experimenting around a little bit, but the ribbed vertical hasn't done me wrong. So I've been kind of running with it, and then I still have to try out the hand stopper, like the folding stubby, as these do basically like the hand stop will allow you to be, you know, fired while sprinting, which is really cool. You do lose some control and precision, and I like the precision on this thing. So definitely something to experiment around with, but the ribbed vertical has been really nice from what I've been using it. So I like that quite a bit. And in the magazine section, I like to go for the 30 round fast mag. I always prefer to go for a fast mag. That's just my general preference, unless I have a 40 unlocked or a bigger mag unlocked and it doesn't cost like a metric ass load of points, because, you know, the point values for some of these things is a little bit much. But I'll probably get this when I get to level 34. That's like, you know, another 2 times the levels, which is kind of, I'm not like a big fan of that, but you know, it is what it is. It's how they've designed their game. So you run the 30 round fast mag. Now we're gonna go up in here actually to the laser section and run that 5 MW green laser. What I recommend after that is the 50 MW green, as this gives you better hip fire, which is gonna be even more absurd at 77. So overall, like, you're absolutely, you know, popping off here at close range with a laser. And the only downside is, of course, that people can see the green laser versus the red laser. People cannot see it, but you get less of a hip fire benefit. So trade-off, but do I think it's worth? Yeah, because the range you're using it, people are going to see you anyways, and especially if you got a flashlight on. Who really cares at that point if someone sees your laser? Because the chances are, if they see your laser, they see your flashlight, they know exactly where you are, but are they going to be able to hit you? Who really knows? I mean, flashlights are kind of broken. Now for the last attachment, I like to run this mini flex, as this is just incredible right here. I don't really like running iron sights on a lot of different guns in this game, like SMGs. Maybe there's 1 or 2, but that's really about it. So I like the mini flex. I also like the OSA. Don't really feel inclined to go down here for any of these larger optics. It's just the range I'm using this at, I don't really think that I'd need something like a 2 times or something like that. I actually have tried this, not bad, but overall, or the ROM, have tried it, but I do think that the red dots are what I'm be sticking more towards. So that right there is going to be my full MP7 build. Definitely give it a shot. All right, for our third gun here today, this is the SG553R. This is a bit of a later unlock carbine, but it's still really, really good. So let's check this thing out. One of my personal favorites to use at the moment. You can see the recoil, it jumps a little bit, but apart from that, I mean, you guys are going to be like seriously taken care of when it comes down to being able to use this thing. Even for overall distance, it's not bad. So it's definitely something I'd say is worth unlocking. And let's get into the build. So hopping right into it here. This is a lower level gun. I want to do this where I give you guys guns that aren't super high level, but show you the correct, you know, variation of attachments, because it's just not fun to like recommend y'all something that requires you to be at level 30 to take advantage of. That always sucks. So the flash hider or the converter, really not going to be bad choices, but they're only 2 I have at level 13 so far from what I've been using, and I've been playing this gun. Like, it's really fun to use, really good. And also the comments on other social platforms I've seen, people really like this thing, so I've been taking that into consideration too. So this right here, I'd say flash hider is really good. Kind of keeps you a little bit, or it fully hides your in-world spotting while firing, which can be very nice. It's not like a suppressor or something where it keeps you audibly off, you know, people's radar because they're not hearing you. But the flash hider is really solid. After that, we're going to go in here. We're running the extended barrel. As you can see, the basic, you lose a little of that bullet velocity. And of course, this increases your projectile velocity, enables a faster transition to aim down sights. This is kind of like a no-brainer. You should be doing this. be running like the bigger barrel on these things, unless you're seriously going for a real close quarters build and you're trying to be like wicked fast and snappy, then I could see that. But the extended is going to be the move right there. Now down here, of course, we got the light. Don't got to explain much on this. This just helps our overall hit bar accuracy. It blinds people at close range. It's just meant to be annoying. That's kind of really about that. Now in the grip section, this is something where I haven't yet experimented with the folding stubby, but I mean, it does give me more mobility at the cost of a little bit of control. But as you guys can see in the firing range, it does jump a little bit. So I'm not too keen on using something that doesn't give me as much control. So this is one of those guns where I might stick with the ribbed vertical or even the alloy. If you guys don't happen to have the ribbed vertical yet, both of those are going to be pretty solid options for what we got right now. Down here in the magazine section, of course, we're just going for the base 30 round mag. Don't ever go for like the fast mag. I know I said I like to go for the fast mag, but like the 20 round mag is just not going to be it. Like, who cares if you get a bunch of extra mobility? You have 10 less rounds in the mag, which is not good. So we just stick with the basic. Of course, standard ammunition. Back here, just because we got some extra points available, we throw on the mag catch to help with our overall reload speed, which is quite nice. Up here in the laser section, I have the 5MW green laser, which, like I've said, when I get these guns leveled up more, I will be using the 50MW, so go slap that on there. And lastly, we're using the mini flex, which I haven't gone ahead and tried a 4.5 times scope on there, but I can't imagine using a 4.5 on a carbine really all that beneficial. You know what I'm saying, fellas? So slap that on there. I could see you going for maybe like a, 1.7, something like that, but you really don't need much more than probably a red dot for most carbines. They're basically close to medium range, not really far distance. So anything out past that 2 times scope, you're probably not going to see like it being beneficial. I'm just kind of putting that out there, keeping it a stack with y'all, but this is a really good gun. Y'all should try it out. All right, at the number 4 slot, if I didn't give you guys a build here on the cord, I feel like I'd be doing y'all a disservice, as the cord is just so insanely good. It doesn't matter if it's like, red sec, if it's like regular multiplayer, like, y'all see that? That's with a suppressor. Like, dude, this thing's borderline a laser beam now, especially after that update. I mean, can you guys see how good that is? Yeah, let's get into the build. All right, first attachment in here, we're gonna be using the standard suppressor, as this is still a full 100-point build, so I'd recommend to use the standard. I know the CQB is there and helps you with a little bit more hip fire accuracy. No one cares about that. We just want to be a little bit more off the radar, and that's really about it. It also just minimizes what people actually hear of you quite substantially. So even if you pop up on the radar, you would not believe the amount of times where people just don't actually, they're not looking at the radar, right? A lot of people aren't looking at it. They're just listening to what's going on around them. And if they hear, lots of gunshots coming from one side, they're turning over that way. But the suppressor really muffles you. So it's kind of to your benefit and to the other people's, I guess, detriment of them not being good players, that they're not using the mini-map. And you might pop up as a bit of a red dot sometimes, but can they hear you? Most likely not. So we're using the suppressor. After that, though, you're going to go through on the heavy barrel, not going to go for that light barrel. That's kind of ridiculous. We want to go in here. We want to keep that precision up in a major way, as that's, what's going to make us really effective. This is a long-range gun. We're not trying to make this into an SMG conversion. We're trying to make this, into an actual long-range gun. Down here in the grip section, since this is level 29, this is one of my higher level guns. I use the ribbed stubby, which, slightly reduces recoil, enables a slightly faster transition to aim down sights, and it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't have a negative, downside. It's not like the ribbed vertical where I lose accuracy. It's awesome sauce, but it is 30 points. So kind of just, understand that. But we're gonna move on here. If you guys don't have that, throw in like an alloy vertical, something like that, you guys will be taken care of, because I know this is a bit of a later level unlock, and it takes a fat minute to get your guns fully leveled up. Down here, we run the 40 round mag. If you don't got that, don't feel bad. Run the 30 fast, run the 36. And if you get the 40, awesome. You'll be fully taken care of. Run that 40. That's what I like running, and it feels great. I mean, you can see the reload wasn't bad when I was firing it, so I like that quite a bit. Of course, standard ammunition, no right accessory. And then for your optic, you can kind of go for whatever you want. You can go for a mini flex and be super aggro. You can go for an OSA. That's really solid. Also on this gun, I would say that technically the Baker 3 times does work out nicely if you're going to be playing some red sec, or I'm just going to call it Battle Royale. If you're playing some BR, you're going to be using the Baker 3 times on this thing. You can for sure go for a red dot, but I'd say that largely speaking for red sec, you want to probably use a Baker 3 times. And then if you're playing, multiplayer, probably something like a 1.7, a red dot, something else like that. Like the ROM's really good. throw either of those on there, y'all are going to be really hitting some serious shots, downing people. The cord's really good. Like, it's probably the best AR in the entire game, if not second best. It's just awesome. All right, and last but definitely not least, an LMG that is an absolute heater is going to be the RPK. So this right here, doesn't matter if you're playing, you know, Battlefield 6 multiplayer, you're playing Red Sec game, and obviously you can see, I mean, this is a really solid, easy to use LMG. So you definitely want to level this thing up. I mean, I like it quite a bit. I've been using it in both, and it hits in both modes. All right, hopping into it here, our first attachment is going to be the compensated brake. By the way, this is a level 22 build, so you don't got to be super high level, just past level 20. It is really awesome. I did actually just unlock the suppressor, so I do want to try that out. I know people like that, especially when they're playing BR, and you can actually have a lot of fun with it in multiplayer. So definitely try out either or, but if you don't have it, go for one of the brakes here. Just kind of see what works for you, because the brakes do different things. Like this one minimizes your general recoil buildup, versus this just helps reduce general recoil. So this does a little bit more in terms of making it just kind of a general easier pattern. It condenses it all, versus this might just reduce overall recoil. I'm not sure the exact specifics behind each one and like why they do different things, but basically double board brake versus, you know, the compensated brake. Either or is going to be good. I think the compensated brake's a little bit better if I'm going to choose one, but otherwise I'd say the suppressor is also going to be a wonderful option to be able to literally suppress people while you're suppressed. So you can do a whole lot of work by not having people know where you're at and laying down a bunch of fire and being super ultra accurate, especially since they helped everything with the bloom in the update. Down here in the barrel section, would recommend the heavy extended barrel. I know you have the extended barrel here, which gives you a little bit more mobility, mess with your precision. The other heavy barrel, you lose bullet velocity, which is not good. So the 590 factory is the move on this thing. Have to run this, would ideally have you guys run that. Down here in the grip section, I did actually just get the rib stubby, so low key I might actually swap that on. But what I did have in here was the 6H64 vertical, which is really solid. So just kind of put that in perspective, I have been using this specific grip when I've been playing. It's worked out great, but I'll probably switch over to this since I just happened to unlock it. But overall, that's going to be great. Same with the alloy vertical. Moving on down here to the magazine, you can literally just keep this on the base 40 round mag. Like, I mean, why spend points here when we don't really get anything bigger? It's not like you're throwing on like a 60 or something like that, which is going to be a 30-point unlock, or a 75 round drum, which is 50 points. Like, who's going to run that? I'm sure as hell not going to run that. So just run the 40 round, save yourself some points, put them elsewhere. I mean, it works out great. So we don't need a right accessory, left accessory. We're just going to go in here and throw on basically an optic of our choice, which is going to be the BF2M or the Baker 3x. Both of these are great. Have experimented using the Mini Flex, so both of those are going to be great options. I will say this, since we have 10 points left over, we probably could throw on like a laser if we wanted to fully hit it out, which would not be a bad idea. So I'd say you could probably slap that on there. But that right there is your full RPK build. That's been my top 5. You guys enjoyed it? Give it a like, subscribe, check out this other video on screen. I'll see y'all next time.